Wonders of West South Central, the hidden places no one talks about travel guide. Did you know there are stretches of wild open land in the West South Central United States where the stars outnumber the people and the silence feels thick enough to touch? Yes, that vast forgotten part of America where you can still feel like you're discovering something brand new, even though it's been there all along. I'm Your Name, and today we're tipping aside the usual tourist trail for the region spanning Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, places that don't make the top 10 city trips list, yet deserve the spotlight. We're going deep into hidden valleys, ghost town vibes, swamp serenity, desert mystery, and local legends. If you're ready to see America's under-the-radar gems, buckle up, because this isn't the road everyone takes. It's the road the locals whisper about. Caddo Lake, Texas/Louisiana border. Picture a morning mist rising off the water, the air still cool, ancient cypress trees draped in Spanish moss reaching skyward like cathedral columns. That's Caddo Lake. It lies right on the border between Texas and Louisiana, and yet most travelers blink and continue past. Here, you'll paddle a kayak through dark green water channels, maybe spot an alligator quietly sunning itself, and sense the slow time rhythm of swamp wilderness. But full disclosure, the humidity will roll in like a warm blanket. Mosquitoes might think you're an all-you-can-eat buffet, and some of the infrastructure is rustic. Yep, I forgot the bug spray and paid dearly. Bring insect repellent, a waterproof phone case, and a spirit for being a little wild. When you glide under moss-hanging arches and hear nothing but the breeze and maybe a bird call, that's reward enough. If you want one place where nature still out-talks the tour bus, this is it. Terlingua and the Big Bend region, West Texas. Change of scenery. Welcome to the desert edge weirdness of Terlingua and the surrounding region of Big Bend National Park and nearby state parks. You'll walk among adobe ruins, desert trail dust in your shoes, and the sunsets will explode in fiery hues you'll swear were edited. But here's the catch. Desert terrain means limited services, long drives between towns, and sudden weather changes. Yes, flash flood risk even if it's dry. I once drove in thinking I'd catch sunset and ended up scrambling for a flashlight as night fell and stars spilled all over the sky. Worth it? Absolutely. If you're someone willing to trade Starbucks for stargazing with zero light pollution, this region will punch you right in the soul. Don't forget extra water, reliable navigation, don't trust, just follow the road. And maybe a playlist that reflects the wide-open horizon you're passing through. Marfa, Texas. Let's lean into the quirky. Marfa isn't your typical small town. It's got ghosts of old mining, a minimalist art scene, mysterious Marfa lights that still baffle visitors, and a desert setting so still you could hear your own thoughts echo. This is the kind of place where the weird becomes wonderful. The risk? It might feel too artsy, a little industrial rust meets hipster trailer, and amenities aren't luxury level. I wandered into a gallery looking for coffee and found myself standing face to face with a giant installation, bewildered but delighted. And that's the vibe. If you're tired of cookie-cutter travel, and you like your destination to feel as much conceptual as concrete, Marfa is a blink and you'll miss it charm. Sycamore Scenic Byway in Ozark Highlands, Arkansas. Time to shift into a lush, mist-covered forest drive. The Sycamore Scenic Byway winds through the Ozark Hills in Arkansas and gives you an offbeat slice of Americana. Forest roads, mountaintop overlooks, quiet cabins, maybe the lone hiker you pass nodding hello. But here's your reality check. Roads may be narrow, cell service can drop out, and if you arrive late, you might find more darkness than hospitality. I once arrived as the rain started and the windshield wipers had to earn their keep. Still, that's part of the story. Pack a map, maybe a backup battery for your phone, and time to stop for zero distractions. If you crave untagged, unscripted moments in nature, this is your lane. Caddo Lake again. Double feature because it's worth it. Yes, we're circling back because I couldn't resist. Revisiting Caddo Lake in the golden hour. That golden light hitting the moss-covered limbs, water ducks gliding quietly, the smell of wet earth and pine. It's magic. One evening, I sat in a canoe and listened to nothing but the water's sigh and a frog chorus rising. It reminded me that travel isn't always about seeing new things. Sometimes it's about feeling new spaces. If you budget extra time, stay through dusk. The swamp transforms. Bring a jacket, swamp chill kicks in, a thermos, and let nature show you the slow-motion finale. Lajitas and the ghost town meets resort dream, West Texas. Speaking of weird and wonderful, you'll want to hear about Lajitas. Yes, that little West Texas town where the mayor is literally a goat, no joke, and where desert, cowboy chic, and luxury domes collide. You ride a horse 1 minute, sip a craft cocktail the next, all while the vast Chihuahuan desert sprawls behind you. Challenges? Remoteness means you might be one of a handful at the bar, supplies are limited, and the desert sun takes no prisoners. But here's the payoff. A sunset so wide you'll swear the panorama is fake. A star field so bright you might wonder if you're on an alien planet. I got there just in time for the last light. I didn't want to leave. If you want your travel story to include, did you really ride a horse under that many stars? This place delivers. Gruene Historic District and Hill Country, Texas. Let's circle closer to civilization, but in a way that still surprises. Gruene Historic District, pronounced green, by the way, near New Braunfels, is the kind of small-town stop that sneaks up on you. Dance hall from 1878, river tubing just a float away, a local coffee shop vibe that leads into antique hunting. Much of Texas slaps you with size and shine. This place whispers authenticity. But pro tip, weekends fill up, river floats can get noisy, and if you show up expecting remote wilderness, you'll find yourself among couples in flip-flops and families on inner tubes. That's fine. I did it too. I sipped a cold beer after tubing and watched live music under a live oak tree and thought, yep, this is the kind of surprise stop I'll tell people about. If you want low-key charm with a river and a story, this is it. Boquillas del Carmen, Mexico border crossing. Now, here's a spot that almost feels unreal. Boquillas del Carmen. Technically, it's just across the Rio Grande from Big Bend, but it's one of those places that remind you how invisible borders can feel when cultures meet. You cross by rowboat, yes, literally. A local ferryman paddles you a few strokes over, and suddenly you're in a quiet desert village with hand-painted signs, cold sodas, and the smell of tacos drifting from family kitchens. But keep your passport handy. This is an official crossing, open certain hours, and you'll need to check re-entry times or risk waiting under that desert sun longer than you'd like. If you liked this tour, go ahead and smash that like button, well, gently. Subscribe for more travel guides that skip the mainstream and find the hidden pulse of destinations. Comment below. Which of these places do you want to visit first, or which secret spot do you know that deserves a shout-out? Share this video with someone who's ready to travel differently. Stay curious, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there on the next road.